think I should be completely honest with you. When it comes to the Ares Inferno, I had to spend a lot of extra time with it, a bit more than I did the Ares Ion. The reason for this is because I think the Inferno, it's actually not as simple to explain to you as one might think. And it is thanks to the extra time I spent with it and the extra findings out that I did find that I believe the Inferno is actually the better of the two. So stay tuned to find out why I think that is. Now, I can only apologize to those of you that have just come from the Ares Ion video, because this Inferno shares pretty much the same stats. So let's start off with the basics. It has 2 size 2 shields, 2 size 2 power plants, and 3 size 2 coolers. All of that is built to, well, maintain and keep alive this massive spinning gun on the right hand shoulder. It actually doesn't require as much power to operate though compared to the Ion. The Ion, of course, is an energy gun, so therefore draws on something called capacitors, introduced in 3.14. Whereas right now, the ballistic version of the Ares, the Inferno, it just has a spinning motor that goes and that's all you need to know. Really, it's like the twin sisters of war. Do you want to have accuracy and prolonged sustainability in a fight, or do you just want to bum rush Zerg your opponent with as many ballistic projectiles as you possibly can so his ship falls apart like Swiss cheese? For the fun of it, I did say in the Ares Ion video that I enjoy the one-shot potential that King truly brings to the battlefield. Being able to do bounty missions in the Ion is truly, I think, its calling card. It is a mission go-to critical ship. It is a ship that you would use all the time if you were a solo player. But when you encounter the real world, the verse that is also occupied by other real players, the Inferno proves itself to be the only option out of the two, not only for PvP combat, but for sustainability against all sorts of different targets, not just the ones that are easy to pick on. Now, whether you believe it or not, because unfortunately I have somehow lost the footage, I have fought against both ships, the Ion and the Inferno, whilst also in an Ion or an Inferno. So I've had a good experience to figure out, which ship performs best against which ship, and they are extremely well matched on a 1v1. However, I will say, if you have 2 pilots of the same skill level, then the Inferno will always win. The Inferno will always win because of the one advantage it has compared to the Ion. It uses ballistic rounds, which means it can penetrate shields, which means it can start doing damage to parts of the ship, like the engine, almost immediately. And for those of you that have flown this ship a lot and have gotten to know what it's like in PvP, there is a weakness that the Ares shares across both platforms that is a pretty fair and, I would say, compromisable design decision just to make it more balanced. That is, of course, the engines on the back of the ship being so large and so powerful. As soon as one starts to fluctuate or have some sort of major torque imbalance, or just downright be disabled, you are SOL. Against larger opponents too, like the Hammerhead or maybe even a Redeemer, the Inferno shares even more benefits that enable its design to stand out amongst the two versions. The ballistic rounds will penetrate shields and knock off weapons. They'll break turrets, they'll break capacitors, they'll do whatever they can do to outright, harm the chances of your opponent almost in an unfair way. It's not really an unfair way, I just can't really think of a better way to describe it. Obviously, ballistics, they're available to everyone. But because of the size of the ballistic rounds used in this gun, size 7, it finds a much easier time of breaking things off of other ships, if that makes sense. So if you are against something that has turrets, which are extremely terrifying right now, just look at the Redeemer's strength, you can use the Inferno to disable it slowly, but successfully. But you've still got to be sensible. There's no way a solo Inferno, and definitely not a solo Ion, is taking on a crude Redeemer. Like I said before in the last video, these are meant to be angels. 2 wings of a bird, 2 feathers on a... whatever. They're supposed to fight together, guys. They're supposed to fly together in squadron. You and a mate taking on the world. That's what the Ares is meant to do. Against smaller targets, the Inferno is just as effective as the Ion, except it's not a one-shot kill, it's just a quick burst of your Gatling. This is what you would expect along the lines of what ballistic Gatlings do compared to large cannons. But how long does it take to kill a Hammerhead, I hear you ask? Well, maybe we can skip through this video in front of you and you can have a little look. I think it's a lot better and probably a bit more efficient and faster than using the Ion. For the sake of clarity, I'm going to leave in all the bits where I may have missed or crashed, because I think that's a fair representation. No one fights a ship standing perfectly still. I'll also mention that the clip we're watching right now is actually sped up 300 times. So you'll know how long it takes if you just do a bit of simple math. But from my calculations and from my not so great flying, it was a little over a minute and a half, 2 minutes to kill an entire hammerhead all by myself. I'm pretty sure, however, that if I paired an Ares Inferno with an Ares Ion, or just had 2 Infernos, this job wouldn't be done twice as fast. It probably would be done in a matter of just a few seconds. I genuinely think that these ships, as I preluded to previously, have introduced a brand new meta into the game. I mean, just look at how quickly I mount this hammerhead all by myself. And yeah, it's AI controlled, and definitely the Redeemer crewed by humans was scarier. But right now, the Inferno and the Ion don't require any real skill, which I guess is why I like them. Look, I simply don't think there's much more to add to this video, so I'm not going to prolong it any further. The simple answer to the question of should you get an Inferno is yes. If you aren't already planning on getting one, whether that be in-game or with money, of course I'm not going to tell you what to do. SIG don't need any more of your money, but you should always have this ship on your radar. I don't care whether it's now or 5 years from now. This ship is a must-have in your fleet, whether you're a solo player or playing in a group. Now, speaking of playing in groups, a lot of what I do is only available to me, and it's only doable because I play in a group of some fantastic friends and supporters. And if you want to get involved, well, you can always come by the Twitch stream live and actually help me out. I've also got a Discord link down below in the description that you can go click on and join in, because we play lots of other games, not just Star Citizen. Although, let's be honest, what else would you play right now? Also, guys, I want to thank you all so much for being here. Don't forget to subscribe, maybe if you like the game as well, even if you got into it during the free flight, or if you are going to get into it right now because the ship is so goddamn awesome. Don't forget to use my referral code when you join to get yourself 5,000 extra Alpha UEC when you start. Alright, I think that's pretty much everything I have to say, guys. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one.